Hey y'all, welcome to Thank You for Your Obedience with your girl Sam. I am. We outside, okay? And the reason we outside is because ever since we moved, your girl Grace back there, y'all niece, she done got real spoiled to being out here, you know? So if I want to get anything productive done, I have to come to where she's most comfortable because she already cutting up. One thing she likes to do is she likes to find the noisiest toy. If I'm talking to people, whether it's on the phone or like anything, she will go squeak, 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 squeak. So I've taken the squeaker toy. So we're going to see how long this is going to work. All right. Today's episode is season 2, episode 2. Okay. We made it. Okay. The consistency is consistent. Okay. Y'all, this is kind of a praise report. Okay. This is definitely, not even kind of, this is definitely a praise report because God is doing that thing. Okay. And he's doing it for me. I just posted recently, God playing favorites, and I'm one of them, okay? And I stand on that. And the blessed part about that is the people that really know you and really, like, can attest to that statement. I posted that, and one of my brothers, he posted, and you've always been his favorite, even if you've known it or not. And he's always known. So when I say God playing favorites, I'm not playing, okay? So this episode, like I said, is a praise report, but this episode is called Friday the 13th Favor Day. Yes, because on Friday the 13th, God showed that I am favored. Like, for real, for real. And one thing I've discussed in different episodes before is that, like, God is kind of reclaiming those holidays for me, even though like Friday the 13th is not like a holiday. We all take like Friday the 13th to make it like a doomsday or things like that, but for me, honey, it was a blessing. And it was on my brother's birthday, my best friend's birthday. Shout out to Jeremy. It was on his birthday, so it was just like I knew it was God, you know what I'm saying? And so basically what's happened was I got a new car. Surely did, okay? Like, baby girl is in a new whip. Clap it up for me. And trust me, I didn't want that note. Like, don't get it twisted. Just because, like, we cheer for other things, I did not want that note. But because God blessed it and God allowed it, he gonna pay the bill, so we good, okay? So, how did all this come about? And more importantly than God, like, blessing me with the car, it's the reason why. It's like, let me get this right. It was my intentions that really made him, like, work his hand to make sure I got this done, okay? So, if y'all heard on the last episode, when I moved from all the way across down, like Egypt to like Zimbabwe, okay? Like, it was that far across like the greater Houston area. And so when I moved, my mom's car like kicked out. It was a whole lesson in it, but that's not the point. The point is, like, her car like kicked out. Her motor completely went out. Like, it's wild. And so with her motor going out, we trying to figure out like what we finna do, you know? Like, even though we live together, like, we all got different schedules, including my little sister. So it's like we got to make some shake to make sure like we all can be able to do the things that we need to do. And so even my dad, and for like the longest, y'all know my list is in a room, but y'all know my little 300 list that I've been working on, you know, the God to bless me with. One thing was on there was to get a new car. But like I said, I didn't want the note. Like, I paid my car off like last year or something like that. And so like I wasn't trying to get a note, y'all. But I had the thought come across my mind, and I think I like prayed about it silently until I actually had to say it out loud. And so, oh, that's not over here. I thought that was Grace cutting up. Anyways, And so, like, I really took the time, pull my mom to the side, because I also had to just ask her. Because one thing, like, we're not real prideful people, but we're prideful people because we work hard for the things that we have. So, like, when people try to give us stuff, sometimes it's like a bit of a strain, at least for me. And so, I put it to the side, and I looked at her, and I was like, Mom. And side note, she can't get a car like in her name, not because she don't have the finances, but she's going through a situation and there's already a car in her name. Like, not my story to tell. Anyway, and so I pulled my mom to the side and I was just like, Mom, asked you something. If I was to get a new car, like if I was able to get a new car, would you want to take my car? Like, literally just giving you my car is paid off. Like, you don't have to worry about none of that type of things. I was whipping a Toyota Corolla, so y'all know them things go until my wheels fall off, okay? And not the Toyota's wheels, my wheels. Like, it's gonna still be going. And so, literally, I think she got so overwhelmed that I even proposed that to her that she just, like, broke down crying. And she said yes. So, I think not because scratch that. I believe that because I wasn't doing this for me, like I was literally doing this to bless my mom, God made a way. God made a way. Because honey, like, your girl ain't out here doing like the most, but like I said, if y'all been keeping up with me, when I had 2 jobs and when I had a partner, like, money was like not really a thing for me. And then when things kind of started getting cut back, like working with one regular income, and I say regular because in one season I was working like 65 hours, and then in another season God is like, you need to have a regular life, like 40 hours it is, like, so 65 hours is, you know, damn near 2 checks. So when it came to like just working like a regular person and having like a regular life, it was like, yikes, you know what I'm saying? And so things was getting tight. Things was getting real tight. So y'all know I'm just open and transparent with y'all. Like, credit cards was getting maxed out. Credit cards are maxed out. We're not gonna say getting. Credit cards are maxed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not tripping. And I know because of like the credit card situation and things like that, I don't have the best credit. So I'm just like, I don't know. And then like having down payments for things, because let me tell y'all, these car companies, everybody, according to my mama, it's like out here scamming people because certain things are just way too high. Like way too high. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm like, Lord, am I gonna be able to pay for a note? Lord, am I gonna get this down payment? I had been holding money, like I was trying to give to the credit card companies, but I was like, no way, my mom come first. Like, this comes precedent to them credit cards because they still gonna be piled up and still be taxing. So it is what it is. And I had just been holding this chunk. I was like, Mom, if we can get the car with like this amount, like, we good. Like, we good. And so because we are favored and because we had connections, my mom's boss's husband was a car dealer. And because of how hard my mom has worked for her wife, and how much she loves my mom, like, she made sure to tell her husband, like, get them in a car today. Like, I'm under the belief that even if she had to put the down payment down, she probably would have done it, you know, but God, the Lord provided. Period. So we get to the dealership. Not only was it like a smooth process, he took my mom's dead car, like, motor out. He took that car as a down payment, and we just had to pay the gap. Y'all know what the gap was? The gap was the amount that I told my mom that I was holding to make sure she got the car. Like, if that ain't God, I don't know what it is. And trust me, I had the thought about like my mom swapping out her car as a down payment, but I've traded in a car before, and the one thing they made sure to say was like, is the car starting? Like, can it run? My mom's car was deader than a doorknob. Like, so it was that was not an option. But because we have favor, like, he made it an option. Okay? And when he provides, just because he provides don't mean it ain't gonna be hard, because honey, that note not noting, but it's noting. It's a note. Like, it's something I haven't had for some time. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We got in that thing, okay? We got in that thing seamlessly, and that was enough to shout. But with every blessing comes a burden, right? And I'll give you Bible, and not like Bible like, oh, this was a burden, but at the same time there was a breaking. When Jesus performed his first miracle of the 5 fish and the 2 loaves or something like that, first he blessed the food and then he broke it to be able to distribute it. Why? Because it had to show his hand. And so that's what I mean by like blessing and burdens. And a lot of times it's not like, I'm sorry, y'all, these mosquitoes, they working. A lot of times it's not like the most strenuous burden. Sometimes it just can be an inconvenience, but at the same time, it's still like a burden, you know? So we're doing all the things. And now we got to swap the car on the insurance, right? I know these insurance companies not already been scamming. So I call them to swap the car. And she was like, whoa, this premium is way higher than what you're already paying. Mind you, I've already paid the premium on the other car all the way till December. And so I'm like, what you mean? She's like, yeah, right now they want $300. And when you start your note over, it's going to be about like over X amount of dollars a month. How y'all make my car insurance more than my car? No. Like, nah. Like, no. I wasn't having it. I was like, ma'am. You hold that thought right there, because that's not happening. Like, who I look like? I switched to y'all because the other insurance company tried to play me. Now y'all trying to play me? Nope. It's time to go. Oh, that's a word. I'm going to tell y'all why that's a word. It's time to go. And so I wasn't stressed about it, but I can honestly say I was frustrated. Like, who would not be frustrated if literally their car insurance doubled in price because they got a new car? Like, that's outrageous. Oh, because of the parts. Oh, because of this. I left Progressive because they went up on my note because other people was having wrecks, not me. No. Then I was with AAA. Shout out to AAA, like the towing situation. But the insurance, y'all got me bent. Like, no. They tried to double my insurance. And I'm like, no. Time to go searching for new car insurance. So I had probably been all day searching insurance. Even used like the benefit hub with my job, trying to find just affordable insurance. I can understand if it go up. But for it to double was just, it was just outrageous. Like, I couldn't, y'all. And trust me, in my mind, I was like, if I have to, I'll do it. But I didn't want to do that because y'all down payment was just as much as the actual payment. So I'm just like, y'all finna rob me like real quick. No, we're not doing that. And so I didn't overreact. I went through all of the emotions, right? And knew when to cap my emotion, to be like what are you really feeling? Like, you don't have to internalize it, because this is really like a messed up situation. So your feelings are valid. Just make sure you don't curse God. Come on, Job, don't curse God and die. Just breathe. And so that's just what I did. And one thing that really like held it together for me was me thinking about my mom and how she dealt with like this adversity. Like, y'all don't understand. Like I told y'all, she had the U-Haul wrapped around the pole. We hadn't even left the house for 10 minutes, and she wanted to be upset because she thought I was gonna be upset. And then when I wasn't upset, she could breathe a little bit. And then literally as soon as we dealt with that, then we get a call from the kids saying the car is dead. And she wanted to freak out on that, but she didn't. Like, literally once we got home and she pulled up with the tow truck, she jumping out the tow truck happy as ever. And I'm just like, you crazy, but it's okay. I like your faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, she been dancing around this house, like singing, like just doing all the things. Like, it probably got to her and like probably really shook her, but at the same time, she just kept saying, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, you know what? I was like, before I could even be like mad, I took a second and said, God, this kind of messed up, but you still good, so we good. I literally said that driving home. Like, got home, discussed it with my mom. Still wasn't irate, was just verbalizing it so we can kind of come up with a plan to see what's going on. In this whole, in that time, I'm also reaching out to anybody. I reached out to Instagram, Facebook, all the things because I needed help. And of course, I hit up my auntie, my dad's sister. Shout out Aunt Shawn. I hit up my Aunt Shawn and was just like, hey, who you got insurance with? She was like, I'm actually, relax. She like, I'm actually trying to buy some insurance too. I'm like, whatever you find, help me because I can't pay X amount of dollars for insurance. Like, nah, I'm not in a foreign. I'm not. So I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not in a brand new car. I'm in a new car. But I'm not in a brand new car. So I'm not going to do all that just to be riding around insured. No, we going to figure it out. And so slept on it. And one thing about it too, I think it was my hair. But anyways, it just happened to be like the best night of sleep I had since I've been here. It's not the house. It's me, probably trying to like calibrate myself because I'm recalibrating all over again. I just recalibrated not too long ago, but we're still recalibrating. And I got the best sleep ever. Woke up and was like, okay, we made it. We had a good night. And so the next day, back on the hunt. It's on my list, call insurance companies to try to find, some affordable insurance. Before I could even do that, my auntie texted me and was like, hey, I went through like this program and they gave me this insurance company. This is the cheapest one. You should try it. Bet. Because the one thing about the insurance, it wasn't like the insurance as a whole was expensive. It was the comprehensive and collision that was expensive. And it was just like everything would be under a certain amount of dollars. As soon as I added that comprehensive and collision, it was like doubled. And I'm like, no, like I can't. And so I went through the process of getting this insurance. And y'all, it was only like $10 higher than what I was already paying. And me and my auntie ended up signing with the same company the same day. Like, if that ain't God, I don't know what it is, y'all. Like, that's what I mean by favor. Like, God has his hands on everything, but he's also trying to figure out, like, your response to the things and to the battles that he is having you face. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to sit here and be a coward? Are you going to, like, cry? Or are you just going to face it? Like, so that's what we be doing. That's what we doing in this house, at least. We facing everything that, like, God is putting in front of us, regardless of what it is. And not only are we facing it, we're facing it together. And that was a word from, like, Mike Todd. And I think that's something I said before. Like, he's taking me from, like, doing everything by myself to actually having me do other things with other people, especially my family. You know what I'm saying? And so with these partners to walk things out with is working. That's all I can say. It's working. Like, and he doing some other things too, because we're gonna talk about it one day. We're not gonna talk about it today. But even within that insurance, like trying to get the insurance, he was throwing signs at me, and I'm like, here we go with these signs again. Like, what does this mean? Because I don't have time to be like trying to mentally prepare myself and hold my breath. But at the same time, I can't control what God, has in the works for me. So I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try it all. It is what it is. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm itching like these mosquitoes. They get me. Okay. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I was blessed to be a blessing. And what greater person to bless than my mom? You know what I'm saying? And so I had to share that with y'all, because y'all my people. And we out here in a new whip. Okay, and the craziest part is like my mom was so excited about taking my car. Like she like, give me my keys, get out my car. I've already bought my seat covers for my car. I'm like, dang, can I get a car first? She's like, it's already done. Like that type of faith, people think my faith is strong. Like I think areas of my faith is strong. But that type of faith, like being in like the ultimate no, to be like, he gonna work it out, it's good. Like is the faith that I'm still growing. Because that lady got all the faith. That lady got all the faith of a mustard seed, of a mountain. She has all the faith. And I'm literally just, I am pure. I am like helping her like filter herself with things so the Lord could like really, really bless her. And even myself, like she's without unknowingly, probably knowingly, because I'm always giving her a word. It's like, okay. But knowingly and unknowingly, like she's helping me like filtrate myself so my faith can grow and just really show me like when in doubt, work your faith. I had to really emphasize that work. Like work your faith. Faith without works is dead, but you have to work your faith. You can't just be like, I have faith. Okay, so what are you going to do with your faith? You want to just sit there? You know what I'm saying? So that's what this whole week has done. It has overturned like bad stigmas on holidays. It has really shown God's hand and literally showing like what working your faith looks like, especially during adverse times. Like that's just it. And that's really all I got, y'all. Like that was just a quick little testimony, because if God doing it for me, he can do it for you, because if he in my hood and me in the neighborhood. So y'all better catch y'all blessing. Okay. That was great. But before we go, of course, once again, it is my church's 1 year anniversary coming up, and we're having a worship service. So it is November, because I said December last time. It is November 4th at the KBC, which is like Windsor. I don't know. Once again, the graphic will be on the screen. The information will be down below, and I hope to see you there. Grace, you got anything? Y'all see her? She says no, she's fine. So yeah, once again, thank y'all for joining me. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Until next time. Peace.